Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friend Shad Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. It is December. Happy December, the 22nd of 2025. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. So, I have 3:15. 3:15 in the p.m. 1 more minute. It will be 3:16, corresponding with John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That's beautiful to hear, especially when you know where you've come from. I'm telling you. And our prayer is that, Lord, cover us in your blood, send your angels as we endure unto the end. People, I had a thought a few hours ago, and I want to share that with you. The thought is that in Venezuela, something that I saw brewing, but because I was so caught up in the other war, and the Middle East, especially the Middle East, I've been covering that for 40-something years. I just never really went that deep into Venezuela in terms of something that could be so major that it would affect us. And how is that, Pearson? It could affect our economy. And it could affect relationships globally. I've made a few videos already in that I share with you guys that the bear, Mr. Putin, all respect, right, called Maduro after Hegseth and Trump torpedoed, if you will, the boat with the last two remaining survivors, that drug boat, yeah. Got to looking a little bit more deeper and got to thinking like, hey, what's really going on? Well, the thought that I'm having is that everything has a past. Everything has a past. And maybe, just maybe, they needed some cocky maybe story to fulfill a global plan. Because 1 and 1 make 2 all day. Now, I got you with bated breath and you're kind of in suspense, I suspect, so let me spit it out. Venezuela, to me, is more of a tool to put us in a global financial crunch, as well as create more instability, not just for America, but for the world. You see, Saudi Arabia has the largest oil reserves. Now, without getting into detail, it's got oil. If there's anything that's got, it's got oil. If that is taken away, if that is disturbed, that is dinero all day. And depending on how much oil you get from there, that could shake the world. I'm going to keep it real. You guys remember at the Dick Cheney funeral, Joe Biden shook. He shook twice. And I did a video on that. My mind goes back to that. And I'm wondering, is it related to that? Maybe I'll do a short video on that. It just popped in my brain. But I want to take you on a voyage backwards. Because, see, Trump went to Saudi Arabia, and I did a few videos on that. And he took a delegation with him. Marco Rubio, Elon Musk. You guys probably remember all that. Suppose it was more than just what they said it was. Suppose it was, I need a wink and a smile, handshake, and an agreement from you to develop more oil. Okay? 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 And then later on, the leader of Saudi Arabia came to Washington, D.C. Okay? Okay. Okay. Just wanted to set that foundation for you. So let's begin, shall we? Donald Trump is speaking this evening. Trump administration live. President is said to plan the new class of battleships named after him. Did you hear me? There are battleships going to be named after Trump, and he will introduce that. What's the word? Anonymity? I never pronounce it right. You can slap me later. But somebody spilled the beans. President Trump is expected to announce a new type of ship for the Navy on Monday, according to a Pentagon official who requests anonymity, did I get it right, to preview the plan. The official said the Navy was expected to call the new vessels Trump-class battleships. Trump-class battleships comes out to 75 in reduction. The 75th day of the year is March 16th, 316, like I started off this program. 316 is sacrifice. What are the odds? Let me open up a few more ciphers, see if there's anything else, any more goodies around here. So now we got a guy, he wants to get his name on the Kennedy Center. I brought that up already. Then he's got his name around the world. And I've been telling y'all, the reason this is, oh, this is deep, y'all. The reason this is because in the spirit realm, Trump is putting his name on a lot of stuff because they are paying homage to him. It's more of spirit than it is flesh. It's more spirit than it is his mindset and his ego. It's an Egyptian pyramid. And at the top, it's ranking. Do I have $1 in my pocket? Yeah, I do. This is what it is. This is where he's at, in my humble opinion. So they're paying homage to him before he leaves the silver screen. He's going to be leaving. He's doing his part. So he's putting his name on everything. The controversy last week, the Kennedy Center, I decoded that. John Trump and John Kennedy. How come Kennedy don't go first? Because the entity is first. He's at the top. I want you to understand how deep this thing goes, in my mind. So they're paying homage. So now we got him going to get himself a little battleship, okay? Well, Kennedy had a battleship, the PT-109. Hello? Yes, he did. But look at this here. Trump-class battleship. Trump-class battleship also comes out to 111. Y'all know I call that snake eyes. April 21st, that's when the Pope died. April 24th, April 21st, the 111th day of the year. Now let me see this here. What day did the PT-109 get hit? We're going to do something real quick. Thank God for a little wisdom. Try to use it every now and then, y'all. Try to use it. I might get lucky. Every now and then I get lucky on things. I feel things, I sense things, and I go for it. August 2nd, 1943. Let's see. August 2nd, 1943. PT-109 sank with the president on it. That was President Kennedy. He became a hero because he saved some people. Let's see here. See if we got something. Okay, there's nothing there. But Yeah, that was 8-2. But if we take, oh, wait a minute. I put in the wrong date. Okay. So 5, 4. Okay, what I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is that I have a few goofy things here. We have August 2nd, 2026, the anniversary of PT-109 going down. It was sank. A Japanese destroyer hit the boat that former President JFK was on. Subtracted from today's date, 12/22 of 2025, it gives you 7/11 and 3/16. Those are not good numbers. Look at that. Here's your dates right there. Look at that. Today's date, and then August 2nd, 2026, PT-109, the ship. Look at this here. 7/11 and 3/16. 3/16 is sacrifice. You know 7/11, back in the day, Trump was in New York. He was talking about the 911 situation, and he accidentally said 7/11 when he meant 9/11. Show you right. It's the same. 9/11 coming up a lot. They're trying to tell us something. In other words, well, anyway, Trump's on the battleship. Now, let me get back on track here. Let's go through some things that I did 7 months ago. Saudi Arabia trip. Trump, here you go. And Trump has a delegation of people with him. And it's gonna be quite interesting. It's Trump, it's Hegseth, Marco Rubio, Elon Musk. It's a delegation of people, and look, let's just see what happens. So this is day one. So let me methodically go through this, and then I have a few surprises to show you guys. Air Force One being escorted by Saudi jets. May 13th of this year. Can you imagine him coming down? And look at this. It's in the purple family, a lilac or lavender. Isn't that something? Look, people, if you don't think that the crown of glory of the Phoenicians is not real, I suggest you think again. I will put the video in the description in relation to these colors. Okay, I will put it there. The colors are beautiful. That's interesting. Let's see if this shows anything. Martial calculator. So he comes down. Here comes Trump. He comes down. Then he has his meeting a little bit later. And then I want to show you this other video. And then we're going to put it all together, because I believe it's right in our face. Amongst other things, he has some other deals that they struck too. Okay? Allegedly. Check it out.
Relationship with the Saudis.
You were pointing out, Ainsley?
Yeah, we were trying to, we thought it was Jeff Bezos from the back, but when he turned around, I don't think so. I'm not
They're
sure.
saying it's Sachs. So yeah, it looks like the businessmen and women who made the trip are also being...
Yeah, and Rebecca, talk about that, because Elon's there, Mark Zuckerberg's there, and I know that Saudi Arabia wants access to U.S. technologies to advance their AI, their semiconductors for tech, and that is a way that President Trump could ice out China, correct? Oh yeah, you want to ice out the Chinese, and you want the United States to be the preeminent power. So you have to look to see where are the advantages of your partners. They're going to be working on this kind of technology. They want to lead on it. They want to be a leading participant. And so you want to kind of hug them close. You want to know what they're working on. You want United.
Oil is like gold. Get that in your mind. Oil is like gold. It appears to me that Trump is setting up a strategic plan to have X amount of allies allegedly for his future and a global future, it will hurt us, but it will uplift the 1% who want to be in control with this AI and technology expansion that they're building. And Saudi Arabia will keep us going through a short dilemma or bump in the road of less oil once we have this WAR. That's what I believe, in part, why Trump was over there. And I'm going to show you why I think that. Ever since I went back into this, Economist Magazine, December 22nd, 2012, the gluttony of America. See him drinking the oil? That's America. Then there's a WAR, had to be, because look, the Capitol and at the White House, whatever got hit. Okay? So I believe all this is being planned. And just hold tight. I want to show you what I think is happening. I asked, what percentage of oil comes from Venezuela in America? 3.5% of our oil comes from Venezuela. 3.5%. Here it is right here. 3.5% of our oil comes from Venezuela. 3.5. It's 170 something thousand barrels, something like that. 150,000 barrels per day, okay, comes to us from Venezuela. Then I asked Google, how much of our oil comes from Saudi Arabia? Well, 7 to 11%. 7 to 11% of our oil comes from Saudi Arabia. See it there? So 3.5% of our oil comes from Venezuela. 7 to 11% of our oil comes from Saudi Arabia. Then I asked Google, has Saudi Arabia ramped up their oil for America? Said yes. Saudi Arabia has recently increased its oil production and exports with significant flows heading to the U.S., driven partly by efforts to regain market share and influenced by political dynamics. Okay? So you can Google it yourself. I Googled it. And this is how I'm telling you the story. I Googled it. That's what I Googled. And yes, they have increased their oil production for 2025. This was my thought, that this was planned. That's why I believe Trump went over there. That was not the whole reason, but that's in part why he went over there. Allegedly, Venezuela was planned. We're going to stand to lose a little bit, but we're going to gain and make a little bit of it up. That's what I'm thinking is going on. Now, I asked Google, has Venezuela reduced its oil supply to America in 2025? Look, I asked that question. Has Venezuela reduced its oil to America? Yes. Is all this coincidence? I'm telling you, man, that's the thought I had. So let me check it out. When did President Trump go to Saudi Arabia? May 13th through the 16th. May 13th to the 16th. That's when Trump went to Venezuela. Trump went to Saudi Arabia, May 13th to the 16th. That's when I did those videos 7 months ago. Then I said, did President Trump add Saudi Arabia to increase their oil production to the United States? Again, the answer is yes. President Trump administration secured commitments from Saudi Arabia in 2025. Right here. Yes. You see that? Yes. Increased production. You can read that. Yes. Yes, President Trump's administration secured commitments from Saudi Arabia in 2025 to boost energy cooperation, including agreements on critical minerals and energy infrastructure. Because they still got to build this AI. It's deep, y'all. What you think? What you think so far? Going after Venezuela was planned, so we don't lose too much. We get Saudi Arabia to crank it up. America has Venezuela On September 3rd, we hit them. Remember that? September 3rd, that's when we hit Saudi Arabia. Let's go a little history check right quick. On September 3rd, 2025, we hit Saudi Arabia. Let's go down the list. Check that date. From the day that Trump went there, you get 322, Skull and Bones. Here it is right here. Look at that. May 13th, Trump went to Saudi Arabia. Then all of a sudden, on the 3rd of this year, September, we hit Venezuela. The difference is 3 months and 22 days. 322, Skull and Bones. Maduro's birthday, November 23rd. Mohammed bin Salam, his birthday, the leader of Saudi Arabia, his birthday, August 31st. I took their birthdays, subtracted from each other. August 31st, 11, and then I took their exact birthdays. Here's their birthdays right here. I just read them to you. Look at that. Here's your birthdays. Right there and right there. I subtracted their birthdays, and it came out to 22/9/11. 22/9/11. There's your 9/11 again. And what is your 22? An I Pet Goat. An I Pet Goat 2. Barack Obama cartoon sweats a V on his neck, on his nose. V. The 22nd letter of the alphabet is V. After he sweats it, the American flag shreds into two and everything collapses and warplanes begin to fly. Is all this coincidence, people? There's your flag shredded, and then it's midnight. It's midnight. It's midnight. So again, I took both their birthdays. The Venezuela's president and Saudi Arabia's president, I took their birthdays. It gave me 22/11. What are the odds, people? Come on, man. This whole thing looked planned to me. It's been right in front of our face. All they did was talk about technology. But hey, I think it's deeper than that. Now, here's the I Pet Goat date that it came out. Barack Obama was on that, in that. This is the day that this thing came out, this movie. We just saw Barack Obama. 6/24. Take that date, subtract it from Maduro's birthday. Here it is right here. You take that date, June 24th, anniversary 2025, I Pet Goat. Maduro's birthday, November 23rd, same year. The difference is 216. The 216th day of the year is August 4th. That's Barack Obama's birthday. Antichrist. Now, what day does Saudi Arabia come to the White House? November 18th. November 18th. That's when Saudi Arabia came to the White House. So Trump came to the White House May 13th, Trump came to the White House, May 13th. Here it is here. Look at that. May 13th, Trump came to the White House. November 18th, Saudi Arabia came to the White House. The difference is 190 days. The 190th day of the year is July 9th. The 190th day of the year, the 190th day of the year is July 9th. July 9th, what's July 9th? What's 79? Trump is 79 years old. He's 79 years old. I say this thing was planned. Everything was planned. Everything down to the toenail. He's 79 years old. Everything was planned. Meticulously planned. Right in our face. He's 79. All I did was use some logic after a thought hit. I took the day that Saudi Arabia came to the White House, subtracted from the day that Trump went to Saudi Arabia. The difference is 190 days. The 190th day of the year is July 9th, 79, and that's Trump. They created a sweet deal. Allegedly because they know they're about to do a WAR and lose oil. So they created a sweetheart deal where everybody benefits and they still go on with their plan, but yet they want that region evidently. But it looks like something gonna get out of hand. They might have a Boston Tea Party and dump that oil and try to beat them at their own game. I'm Franchise Pearson. Tell me what you think. Lord, keep us through this nightmare. Get right, stay right, get ready for the flight. Jesus got to be coming again. God bless.